Welcome to the Daily Vibecasting. Today, we're tracking a financial storm. We're talking nearly $1 trillion poured into AI infrastructure, completely reshaping the market. The old war for search is over. The new battle is all about answer engine optimization inside tools like ChatGPT. And in the real world, automation is winning big, from cashierless stores in Europe to, believe it or not, the Cybertruck getting a top safety rating.
It's not just a vibe, it's a flood of capital. I mean, the speed is something we haven't seen since the early days of the internet. But this time, the investment is immediately physical, it's computational, which really raises the question, where does all that money actually land?
That's exactly where we need to start. There's a visualization from Stock and KT News that's been making the rounds. It shows cumulative AI infrastructure spending hitting nearly $1 trillion by late 2025.
$1 trillion, and that's just the start. They're projecting it to blow past $10 trillion by 2030.
That right there is the fuel for everything else we're discussing today.
That trajectory is wild. But we have to ask immediately, what are we actually counting here? The definition of AI spending is, all over the place.
So what does the fine print say? What's in that $1 trillion number?
Well, the sources aren't exactly aligned. You have Gartner, for example, forecasting $1.5 trillion in global AI spending for 2025. But that includes everything, software, services, you name it.
Okay, so a much broader category.
Right. But then IDC narrows it down to just infrastructure, the actual hardware. And that number drops to around $82 billion for the year.
So that $1 trillion figure is cumulative. And it's mostly, the big players.
It's almost entirely the massive capital expenditures of the hyperscalers.
And for anyone listening, hyperscalers are your giants. Microsoft, Google, Amazon Web Services, they're the ones buying up all the GPUs and building these enormous data centers.
Precisely. They're locked in an infrastructure arms race. All that money flows straight to suppliers like NVIDIA. But the real question is this a genuine tech boom driven by new applications, or is it just a platform war where the biggest companies are buying chips to keep pace with each other?
I think it has to be both, but that's a crucial distinction. When you see Apple commit $80 billion to data centers, which they did, it just confirms it. Every major tech player sees compute as the new currency.
And that brings up the second order effect, the critical downstream impact. In the short term, sure, the suppliers win, NVIDIA wins, but once $10 trillion is invested, what happens? Compute becomes a commodity. Doesn't that just fundamentally change the entire game?
How so?
If processing power is cheap and it's everywhere, the value shifts completely. It moves to the application layer. The winners won't be the ones who build the biggest server farms. They'll be the ones who figured out how to use all that capacity to solve a really specific, high-value problem.
And that transition brings us right to the new battleground for who gets heard. For content authority.
Absolutely, because if you're the guy who built a $30 billion company by mastering early SEO, you know exactly where this is all going.
We're talking about Dharmesh Shah, co-founder of HubSpot. He's been talking about his new obsession, which he calls answer engine optimization, AEO.
Shah gets it. He realized the fight isn't for Google rankings anymore. It's for influencing the recommendations that AI gives you in ChatGPT. If a user just asks an AI agent for a summary instead of searching, content creators have to change their entire strategy or they basically get erased.
And his strategy is fascinatingly specific. He says it's about making concise, authoritative content that an LLM can easily reformat. You have to track your AI referral traffic like it's the new gold standard. And crucially, he says to avoid creating low-value AI slop that just dilutes your authority.
The urgency here isn't just a theory, it's about making money. Shah is playing the long game with his startup, Agent.ai, trying to build an AI app store. But where's the immediate return on investment? Where are people measuring it today?
We saw a great example at Recap David. He built an AI system that automates product video creation for e-commerce. He's claiming something like $30,000 in savings per shoot and a 40% conversion uplift on sites that use it.
Now that's the kind of revenue generation we need to be focused on. They're using AI to turn static photos into these seamless loops. I saw the demo for the Bose headphones it was compelling. This isn't theoretical AEO. This is applied AI creating immediate trackable revenue.
Meanwhile, big tech is going for integration. Google Labs just showed off CC, a Gemini-powered agent that's built right into Gmail. It gives you your day ahead briefing.
And this raises a really key question for you, the listener. Is the future an AI app store like Shah is building? Or is it embedded AI like Google's doing that just reduces how often you switch apps? Google is betting you won't leave Gmail or Workspace to find an answer. They're just going to bring the answer directly to you.
Either way, AEO means creators have to adapt. They have to accept being summarized and synthesized by these models. If they don't, they're just cut out of the loop.
And that pursuit of digital efficiency, it's just the prelude. The next logical step is seeing it all hit the physical world.
Exactly. Let's talk about where automation is creating real physical moats. There's this viral video of Upka Nano in Poland. It's Europe's biggest cashierless network, over 50 stores already. Customers just scan a card, grab what they want, and walk out. Studies are showing this cuts checkout times by up to 81%.
That efficiency it's a game changer. But as an analyst, I have to look behind the curtain. What's actually enabling that to scale so well?
What's the catch?
The Upka Nano context is everything. The tech works great there, but scaling it globally is really complex. Replies to the video pointed out that this wouldn't work in lower trust regions. They cited high theft rates in places like the US or Germany, which would make a cashierless store totally unprofitable. Poland's high social cohesion, its cultural trust, is a silent partner in this technology. It's not just a tech problem, it's a social engineering one.
That connects directly to this great business lesson from Domino's Pizza, from a post by Patrick Asheg. They were the top non-tech growth stock of the 2010s, a 2,500% return, not by making better pizza.
But by being a tech company that delivers pizza, they used their app and digital tools early on to build a distribution moat.
They applied digital tools to physical friction points ordering, delivery.
It's the perfect parallel to Obka. You use tech to solve a specific physical problem, the checkout line, and you gain market share.
And we're seeing this in agriculture, too. A post from @Pascal Burnett showed off Dyson's vertical farming initiative. The vacuum cleaner company is now growing strawberries on these massive rotating wheel systems. They're getting a 2.5 times yield boost.
The yield boost is real, no doubt. But the critical cost you have to look at is energy. A study in Nature Sustainability warns that these vertical farms can use 10 to 20 times more energy than traditional farming if they aren't run on renewables. So you solve the space problem, but you might just be making the energy consumption problem way worse.
So these efficiency gains, whether it's retail or farming, they all come with an asterisk. They depend on specific cultural trust, or they come at a huge energy cost. They're not just plug-and-play solutions yet.
And managing these systems, powerful but flawed, it takes a very specific and often volatile kind of person.
That brings us to pure capability. Microsoft just gave details on TRELLIS 2. A post from @Ocleak broke it down. It's an open-source model, 4 billion parameters, that does image-to-3D generation. We're talking high-res assets, mermaids, robots with complex materials, all in under a minute.
And we should clarify, when they say complex materials, they mean PBR materials, physically based rendering. So the model isn't just making a shape, it's creating assets with realistic textures, shadows, lighting, stuff that's immediately ready for a game or a film production pipeline. That gap is closing fast.
But with that power, you need a highly specialized and often disruptive human element to manage it. Which brings us back to that Palantir CEO, Alex Karp. He had this great anecdote from a post by @John about his unfireable talent. He prioritizes brilliant people who challenge authority, even if it disrupts the team.
Talent's so sharp it draws blood. That's the tension. You need these incredibly capable, opinionated people to manage a system like TRELLIS 2. But how do you handle that friction?
Right.
You know, you're supposed to build high-trust, low-ego teams to scale. Karp is betting on the exact opposite.
Yeah.
High-ego friction.
Speaking of high friction, there's a post from @JohnHernandezIA, quoting the DeepMind CEO, Demis Hassabis. He says current AI doesn't have true consciousness, but he warns it could emerge implicitly, on its own, in really advanced systems, and in forms we wouldn't even recognize.
That's the ultimate ethical friction right there, the theoretical risk of some unrecognizable consciousness. And you have to contrast that with the very practical, everyday vulnerabilities these systems have.
And we saw a perfect example of that. A researcher at Elder Plenius found a glitch in ChatGPT. He found if you drag a blurred, policy-violating image on the mobile app, it momentarily exposes a partially generated version, a half-diffused image, he called it, before the safety filter kicks in.
It's a simple UI glitch that accidentally bypasses the entire safety mechanism, and that's the structural flaw we have to obsess over. The systems are getting powerful enough to generate 3D worlds, but at the same time, they have these vulnerabilities you can trigger with an accidental drag and drop. You need carps on fireballs just to manage that tension.
Let's close out with a rapid fire on platform shifts in hardware. First up, hardware. The Tesla Cybertruck. Post from @SawyerMerit. It just got the IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus rating.
That is massive validation. For our listeners, IIHS is the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. It's the rating that matters. Getting Top Safety Pick Plus makes the Cybertruck the only large electric pickup to have it. It just counters all that early skepticism about its design.
And while we're looking at physical hardware on the ground, we have to look at the infrastructure being built above us.
Indeed. A post from @JovelOpen noted that SpaceX Starlink is on track to pass 10,000 satellites in orbit by early 2026. This dense orbital shell is the backbone for global connectivity, but it's also, starting serious discussions about orbital congestion. It's literally the new highway system.
And where you have highways, you have platform wars. We saw a big friction point in the X versus YouTube battle. A post from @Matt Casanelli highlighted a new X update. It autoplays YouTube links in line, and it makes it almost impossible to click through to the actual YouTube site.
This is a clear, aggressive move to boost in-app time on X. The replies show creators and users are furious. It directly means reduced YouTube traffic and, for creators, a potential drop in revenue. It's simple, really. The platforms wield all the power over creator economics, and when they decide to fight a competitor, the content creator is usually the first casualty.
It's been a fast-paced deep dive, but the thread connecting all these stories is control. Who controls the compute? Who controls the content? Who controls access? Our three big takeaways are clear. First, the trillion-dollar AI chase is real, and the money's flowing into infrastructure, which will commoditize compute faster than we think. Second, the shift from SEO to AEO means the rules of content are being rewritten. You have to serve the LLMs now. And third, efficiency in the physical world is still limited by real-world costs, whether that's energy or just basic social trust.
If you look at those trends, the most intense pressure right now is on content monetization in this new AEO world. Google is launching proactive agents. Traditional SEO is being dismantled. So my sharp prediction for tomorrow is this. Given the pressure, content aggregators and search engines are going to be forced to launch specific paid incentive programs within the next quarter. They have to. They need to make sure their best high-quality content providers don't just leave for AI platforms where they can get paid directly for their knowledge. The race to pay for trust is about to begin.
Pay for trust. A fascinating place to leave it. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We hope you feel a little more well-informed and ready to apply this knowledge. We will see you next time.